All right, let's get this show on the road. Is this thing on? Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Think we're live. Hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave, my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet with what I'm working on, what I'm doing. I do basically a bunch of design and development work and play some games and just talk about stuff. So, what's going on today, Wednesday? January 17. It's 7:50 p.m. I've had somewhat of a productive day. I keep touching my face. One theory is, you may have noticed, like my complexion is really terrible. I've been trying to figure out why this is. I've been washing my face. I've been like trying these different things that my sister has recommended to me. And various people, like using a clean washcloth, using a different towel to dry your face. I'm doing the double cleansing with like oil-based cleanser followed by a foaming cleanser. I'm toning. I'm using essence. But I keep breaking out, and it occurred to me that it might be that I'm not washing my ears thoroughly. So, like Courtney and others in the co-working chat room have said things like there's things like dust or like how dirty your pillow is, or even touching your face will like deposit bacteria that might cause a breakout. But it occurred to me that maybe what I'm doing is like because like I've been washing the face part and not the ears as much. There could be like grease on the ears or something like that smears across my pillowcase as I roll around and then gets on my face and then creates like these problem areas like all around here. But it also could be that I'm just touching my face too much. Like once, I think it was Courtney mentioned that I kept touching my face. Hey Vicky, Kiddly. Once I realized I was touching my face, I could also be that. Another difficulty lately is like this cat here has been pooping a lot on the floor. He has diarrhea, and he just kind of goes to a place and he has no shame and he drops his contribution to the day. So I'm taking him to the vet on Friday to see if there's something more seriously wrong with him. Say hello, kitty. Well, he's still very cute still. I'll sit back here. So, what am I going to talk about today? Let's see what I have on the list. I said I was going to talk about... Oh yes, I'm working on my project management system. Let's take a quick look at that. Maybe the more exciting thing, though, is to look at the spicy hot sauce. See if there's audio going on. I should just check real quick. Yep, there's a... All right, so this is my hot sauce reserve. I don't know why it's not focusing. Focus. Maybe I had to put something in front of it. It does? Yeah, okay. So this is the harvested sauce packs from these super spicy noodles, these Korean noodles. You may have seen on YouTube, they have these spicy noodle challenges. You can just look it up on YouTube. We can look it up here. Spicy noodle challenges, YouTube, spicy noodle challenge. So they're all over the place. There's all these people who are eating these incredibly spicy noodles. And,
we're putting the babies to bed and we're filming a challenge.
I haven't seen this one.
You guys are going to miss out.
Let's get to the noodle eating part.
I'm not even going to try and eat.
You got to eat, yeah.
I'm just going to eat, and I feel like I'll still be.
Let's go for the reaction check. So here they are. This is the 2X spicy noodles, which are super, super spicy.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, these are pretty great noodles if you like that kind of thing. Although, like, I find that I only want to use a little bit of the sauce. If you put the whole thing in there, you're gonna die, like those people were. Even my Thai friend Joy, who owns the Asian market, Thai people like love spicy food. This is too spicy for her, so she only uses half the packet. And that's only on the single hot level one, not the 2X. So I'm harvesting them in this jar so I can like eventually have enough sauce to do something with. I don't know. Kind of looks like blood. Exciting. Unfortunately, I just realized that all the different kinds of noodles I have, like, this is another one from that particular company, but this is the stew type. This is not as hot of a sauce. And then there's this one. I don't even know what kind this is. It doesn't say in English. I think it's octopus, judging from like the octopus cartoon on the back. And then this is like a regular, this is the regular one in the cup. The Samyang spicy chicken, hot, I forget what it's called. Just look for this weird character, this chicken character, and look for the word Samyang on it. Those are the ones you want. Then I also have these hot chicken flavor ramen ice type ones. The ice type is you serve these cold. And then this is probably my favorite. No, this is not bad either. This is the cheese flavored one. So the sauces are all different, so I'm not sure if I should all put them into the same storage jar, because that might be gross. But we'll see. So that's the stuff that's going on with the spicy noodles. What's next on my show and tell list? We'll end with the project management system building, because that's boring, and then people can tune out if they don't want to see it. I've been working on my introspective gaming playlist. So this is an idea I had about just talking about games I like playing. There's a lot of people who are streaming games and stuff like that. But I guess when I'm playing games, I'm usually thinking about how they're put together, or how I'm reacting to them, which makes me kind of boring to play games with, particularly competitive like fighting games. My friend Alan used to complain about how I'd be sitting there and being beaten badly by him, but he knew as he was beating me I was analyzing things, I was muttering stuff to myself, and he knew it would be a matter of time before I figured out what his attack was, develop a counter to it, and then soundly thrash him for the next dozen rounds until he figured out something new. But, it might be something that is interesting for me to play with. So if I go over to, let me switch over to YouTube and see if I can find this playlist. YouTube. I'm recording what's updated right now. Where are my playlists? No idea how this thing works. I guess I can go here. Videos. Playlists. And there's a playlist called Introspective Game. So I've been playing this game, Rainbow Six Siege. And yesterday I recorded me doing something after quite a long time. The last time I recorded these were probably like maybe a couple months ago. And so I was doing this test of just kind of running through and seeing if I knew how to play it. What's up, this is Dave, and I'm get comfortable. So the things I was trying to work out is like, well, how do you move and not get killed? How do you move and minimize your exposure to things? So I've been playing this against stupid bots like that one on the easiest setting, just so I can see if I'm moving smoothly, and trying to get a sense of like, what is my awareness like? Am I doing things that are maybe not conducive to survival? So eventually what I want to do is work up to the point where I feel competent enough to try the multiplayer, because I'm kind of a weenie about playing games and like not knowing what's going on. It occurred to me that it reminds me of being in PE when I was a kid and not knowing the rules of any of the games, like baseball or soccer or those things. I was always offside. It was really annoying. So I guess I feel I have the same association with like these online games. I'd much rather play solo. But I don't know. I'm trying to get over that sensitive aspect that I have about it. Okay, so what is the last thing to talk about? This is going to be a pretty short one because I want to head out into the supermarket and buy some stuff. I need to buy more paper towels and cleaner because the cat has been using them up, so to speak. So project management. So let's go back over here. So I've been going through these software specs for this project we're starting up. And this is for a data entry tool that has a built-in visualization interface. And there's quite a bit of stuff that we need to decide on. So there's this, and there's some other notes that we're keeping. So I've been using Trello just to fill things in. What I did first, though, was I used this notebook. This is a notebook I was mentioning before in the past few days about sort of my continuity, my thinking notebook. The nice thing about it is it's a 9x12 notebook. It's quad ruled, and there's something that changes when I just start writing something down in a notebook like this, as opposed to typing it on a screen. Plus, it's a little bit more portable, and I can take it to a different table. And so what I end up doing is just writing down some of the, like on this camera, you can see that I'm just writing down names of systems. And that was enough to organize all the reading I'd been doing over the past few days to come up with the Trello board, which is this. On the left side, I have my David Say project management routine, which is the first thing I always do is to find the scope, action, intent, and motive, expectation, and success conditions of a project. The action is what usually people come to me with. It says, I want to make a this, or I want to have a that. But you don't know why they want to do it, or what they expect from it. So I would ask them, so what is the intent behind this action? Are you making this thing because you want to crush your enemies? Do you want to increase sales? What is it that you really want to get out of it? And then the motive, is slightly different. So you might want to have this thing happen, but why do you want to have this thing happen? Sure, you want to crush your enemies, but why? They have irritated me, or they are cutting into my sales, or we have the money now to do it. The question is, why doing this right now as opposed to doing something else? Why is this a priority? But the expectation is, like, if you've achieved your desired outcome, if the action has been successful, how do you think the world has changed because this has happened? What's different? What's new? And then how do you qualify that through the success conditions? I know that this is working because I see this happening. Because I see this happening, I believe that this action was a success. And so that's how I generally scope all the projects I'm working with, especially when I'm talking to someone who might have an idea about it, but they haven't communicated all the aspects of it that I need to know about to do effective design or software deployment. Then it's also good to know who the other stakeholders are. I might be talking to the primary decision making, but they aren't telling me, oh, the reason why I'm doing this is because my group needs this project, or to see them driven before you, to hear the lamentations of their women, or something. I can't remember the exact. I'm assuming that's a Conan the Barbarian quote from Kid Ali there. Maybe not. And so then all the other things, resource and material lists, these are the things that we need, these are the materials we need, that's just so you can go shopping and get all that stuff in place. Dependencies lists, what do you need from other people before you can move forward to it? I need this marketing plan, I need to talk to so-and-so, I need to research of critical unknowns. There's a bunch of decisions that you need to, you maybe not be able to make some decisions until you actually know a little bit more about what you don't know. And then you can start to put together a schedule with a scope on it. Scope similar to what I have up here with the action, intent, motive, expectations, etc. But each milestone should have a scope too. And then these last few things are, well, this one, feature development time tracking, this is just a pacing element. And it's also helpful if you're planning a similar project like this in the future. You know how long it took to develop something. Just good time tracking is good for that, or timesheets. If you have a good breakdown of what the elements are, you can assign time to them. And finally, there's like some three just kind of working aspects of it. Having a critical project state dashboard of someplace, so you know at one time where you are. That could be any system. That could be Kanban, that could be someone updating a spreadsheet, that could be on the notes on a whiteboard someplace. The canonical project decision resource index. This is where you keep track of how you solved problems. What decisions you made to go one direction and why you did that. So you can see a succinct history of what you've done so far. And that could be found in like one of these other tools, but you just need to make sure that there's one place people can go and see like, oh, how are we doing? And then finally, a working knowledge base of some kind, so you can actually have your technical design documentation, your user models, all that sort of place, and a place where you can find it and refer to them later on, instead of digging through emails and stuff like this. And ideally, it's a place where everybody can edit and everyone's seeing the same information. And so I don't know what I'm going to use for these last three things, or maybe the last four things. It could just be a Google document with links in it. That's probably the easiest thing to do. And then the critical project state dashboard is if there was some way of pulling the title of a web page out that was easy for me to save, and then that would be pulled into another web page. Maybe I'll just run it on a web server, my own web server, instead of using Google Docs, because I can like have more control over the formatting then. The canonical project decision resource index, that can be part of that master index page, but this is a more long form documentation. I guess that's more like a project journal. That could just be straight HTML. That probably is the easiest thing to do. What I missed from that, though, is like the ability for other people to edit it. So maybe I will work with the Google spreadsheet thing and just have a canonical link someplace on the Trello board. Bouncing back and forth between the Trello board might be fine. But this is just my planning Trello board, though. This is not the actual one. And the working knowledge base, that could be just a wiki someplace, even though I hate wiki markup. Or maybe actually we just use the GitHub repo for that, even though I don't like the GitHub indexing, or that is the lack of it. But it would be okay for storing stuff like that. Working knowledge base, project critical. Yeah, that's probably the place to put it, I think. And this other stuff can go on a regular web page, or I'll try to use a Google Doc for that. Now the rest of these columns are just like are what I was breaking down out of the software spec and meeting notes that I had when I was talking to Ben. I think these are the main system components, and for each of these I'm going to have to write a description of what it does. Again, try to use this scoping action here. So there's a data entry system. Primarily this project is about entering data into nodes and then connecting the nodes with what they call edges to perform something called network analysis, which is something that's new to me. It's a way of, I guess it's used for analyzing informally structured data, in which you create the structure by entering in the artifacts that you're noting in it, like people, places, things that are in there. And then using the visualization with things swirling around, you can start to see connections that you may not see if you're just reading a linear document. And because you can change what you're focusing on or change the parameter that you're looking at, you can use it to explore and react with your thinking. That's how I think it's supposed to work. I haven't worked with it before, but it's probably a good skill to know. The data store, the templated data system, user group system management, the visualization system, data import-export system, the researcher logging system, the interaction auditing system, application server, our front-end interface tech, our administrative user interface. So I'm going to draw a diagram for this at some point, and then start filling in like what these things are and how we're going to accomplish them. And then, in addition to this, these are actually the requirements from the requirements doc. Things that we need to consider, and as we're implementing each of these systems, we're asking ourselves, is it going to work? Is what we're doing going to pass these tests? Is it extendable? Some of these are not, maybe. Visualization UI features. These maybe are more metrics. Maybe I should make another. These are like the rule of thumb gut test. Is it intuitive to non-tech users? Is it customizable with basic tech know-how, if it's applicable? How does mobile figure into it? And then this next column, model development. This is more conceptual stuff that you need to know to be able to implement the system in the first place. What do we consider a non-tech user? What do we know? What do we expect them to be able to do? What is their minimum literacy level with computers? Student mobile user archetypes. So we're talking about how can we factor in mobile devices into the system. We're probably not going to use it to enter everything, but what's the key experience there? And how do students use their mobile devices? So they're using them all the time? How do we log them in? We just, we want to make sure it's as simple as possible. Technology requirements, that's just system specs. Student and coursework accounts. So there's a need to anonymize the students for data storage. This is related to privacy and research. The idea is that when you're doing research on a student, because these are research projects, we want to see how people are engaging with the material, so we can draw, or not me, the primary investigators can draw some insight about the learning process. At the same time, make the course effective. How do we? So you need to be able to assign a student a user ID, but doesn't have any information that reveals their identity in the data collection aspect and the research logging and stuff like that has to be released when you're publishing something, I guess. And so on. And then how does the coursework in groups? How are they even organized, like in a classroom setting? This is college level stuff, so. It's a little bit easier because the students know how to type and read, as opposed to some of the other projects that we worked on, where we're dealing with really young kids. Things that are useful to know are, what does the physical classroom look like? How big are the screens? Are they clustered together? How much working space is around you? Make some assumptions about how much can we show, and then how much distraction can we expect? Do we have sound? If we don't have sound, then we can't rely on audio cues. But if we do, then that's something that we could use to alert things or to help convey system status information as it changes. Multiple access use, that's can more than one person access the same group project account at the same time? Do we need to be able to support that? Can people access the system outside of the classroom? Can they log in through any network? Hard copy snapshot requirements, that's something I made up because I figured as you're entering data into your project, you might want to have some kind of frozen in time snapshot of where everything was, or just print something out for your own reference so you're looking at things. Version management of the sessions. As things change, do we want to have versions saved so you can kind of flip between them and compare? Admin teacher session data view requirements. The teachers and admins have to be able to see global views of everything that's in there. Are there specific needs for that we haven't found out yet? And then this last list these are unknown things. What dev environment we're going to choose? What's our database server going to be? What's our application server going to be? How are we going to do the module system this time around? What is a restrictive network? Schools often have very restrictive networks. Can't reach external sites on the internet, can't reach other computers on the same network. Maybe split across multiple networks, even though it's the same one, may not have the same IP address from moment to moment. There's all kinds of horrible things you had to deal with. What visualization libraries to work with? What does IRB compliant user group sessions look like? How do we do unit testing? I think I had that twice. Yeah, I do have that twice. Which one will I delete? Let's delete this one. Some improvements I want to make, a better UI data binding strategy than using a React Redux. That sucks. There's got to be a better way of doing that. Some data flow architecture concepts. How do we share the same approach for everything so there's less to remember as we're developing it? What are the data standards for visualization and network analysis? We need to import and export to them. What's a force graph? What's a Google Fusion table? How does Sigma.js and D3 compare? Do we want to use Electron.js as our app server? And how do we do unit testing? So these are things that we need to decide. So the immediate goals right now are to work on these last two things. And then we can start deciding how to implement the rest of them. So that's what's been on my plate today. I woke up rather late. It was very cold, and I didn't want to come downstairs and see cat poop all over the place. And I did, and this put me in a foul mood. But I'll take the cat to the vet on Friday and figure out what's wrong. You might have some sort of infection or something like that. Someone in the chat room was saying that maybe the cat is sick and is finding pooping uncomfortable and therefore doesn't want to use the box because he's associating the discomfort with the box. And I guess a small blessing is I have a hardwood floor, and I live at home, so the stuff isn't soaking into a carpet for like 12 hours or something like that. Ugh, that would be horrible. Into the floor baseboard or underfloor. That would be horrible. So I think that's it for today's What's Up Dave. You know, just trying to keep moving. Tomorrow I'm going to be seeing this new animated movie called, what's it called? Let me see. It's in was it Fathom Events? I can never remember how that's spelled. Fathom Events. This movie, which I know nothing about. It's from one of the animators who for Studio Ghibli. He was an animator on Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. Well, directed Arrietty. I wasn't so fond of that. So this is like a new animated kids movie, and I'm going to go see it with my friend John and his family, who has a small child. I always like to see animation. I used to be much more into it. And then on Friday, there's something that's happening on Friday. I've already forgot what it was. Friday is piano karaoke. Oh, that's one last thing I can do. It started going through the piano karaoke song list. I was trying to pick songs that I should try to learn. Because I haven't been going to the piano karaoke thing in a while because I felt that I was not being respectful enough to the music. I just go in there and kamikaze stuff. But I'm starting to get the sense that, you know, the people who really want to go there, they want to see people who care about what they're singing. And I'm really was just going through there just for the experience of overcoming my fear about singing when I'm not a good singer in public with a bunch of people, and having a good attitude about trying things out and having a good time of it. And in that sense, it was very educational. But I think the next level is to try to actually see what it's like to learn how to sing a song. One thing I figured out, or realized I should say, is that singing a song is kind of like running an obstacle course, and you have to practice. I touched my face again. Damn, I'm gonna break out in more zits. Because there's certain ways of approaching each note you're singing, anticipating where you're going to be pitch-wise, but then not making it seem forced, and when to breathe, and just things like where in your vocal cavity you're producing the sounds. Is it way down here, or is it up here more, or is it kind of in the middle, and is it your breath control? There's all these nuances, or something as simple as making noises with your mouth, which is something that most of us know how to do, but be able to control that with so it actually has a nice result. That's something that's kind of new to me. My friend Elise runs this. Which one was I looking at? I was looking at the song lists. I think I was going to songs A to Z. Yep. And then I was editing this document. Or I put it into this document. I think I have a piano karaoke notes thing. I could have sworn I made one. Oh, here it is. Here's the Dave song list. Let's call this songs to learn 2018. And I got as far as this in the alphabetical list, which is here. Let's see if I can do this. So that was about approximately halfway down. I'm just writing down lists of songs that I've sung or have kamikazed in the past. So it's right here. Loveful. Oh, I remember this song. That might be fun to learn to sing. Hardigans. Is that the one that goes da 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 da. Who's Minnie Riverton? I don't know any Beatles songs. I have to admit I'm not really a Beatles fan. Tears for Fears. I think I sang that once. This Mad World song. It's not really... I tend to like boppy 80s songs, but this might be an interesting challenge. I wonder if there's like a pure editing mode in this. I have kamikaze Man in the Mirror before. Michael Jackson. I wonder how long it takes to really learn a song. Duncan Sheik, Barbara Streisand, don't know any of these. Not a real fan of that song. Don't know that song, don't know that song. Midnight Train of Georgia. If I had pipes, I'd love to learn to sing that. Maybe I should just learn the words to it. Uh-oh, I'm going out of space. Van Morrison, Extreme. George and Michael, Mother Pride. Siren, Glorify, Estevan with NSYNC. What are these? Are these even that song? There's a Stevie Wonder song that might be fun to learn. Stevie Wonder. My chérie amour. Oh, I've done the Sound of Music. That's one that I will sing if I'm warming up. I've kamikazed this Frank Sinatra My Way song, but I didn't really like the song. Never knew him, Don Henley, Frank Sinatra, New York Minute, Night and Day. That is a standard that may be good to know. Not the Frank Sinatra version, though. Oh, there was a song that was, that one from Hudson Hawk. It's the I don't remember the name of the song. I'll just put that song from Hudson Hawk. Oops. I don't remember the name of it. Toto? Annie Lennox? I would love to learn how to sing No Such Thing. I would have no cold though, because the song accompaniment for that is counterpoint to what he's singing, so you can't really remember how it goes just by listening to the accompaniment. Nothing compares to you. Kate Bush, Chi Lights. I don't even know that song. Crosby, Stills and Nash, Boys to Men, U2, Howard Jones, One Last Try. It's Ordinary People, Duran Duran. Is it that Duran? I know this is one of Lisa's favorite songs too. But it would be nice if I didn't butcher it if I tried singing it. I guess I'll have to go through this list and figure out which ones that I'm actually... You just kind of rate how comfortable I am with them. The Rolling Stones, Cat Stevens, Piano Man, Please Don't Ask, George and Michael, Private Dancer. I've never heard anyone sing that. Purple Rain I've sung before. That was more of an advanced yowling song, which I'm no good at. I'm terrible at yelling at things. Prince. Yeah, I would have much more confidence to sing that. Kenny Loggins has a song called Return to Pooh Corner. All I Know It's Rich Girl. That's actually, I guess you kind of like that song. I used to like it. But Rocket Man High, Rolling in the Deep, Runaway, Lionel Archie, Dan Fogelberg, Fleetwood Mac. Scarborough Fair. So bad with names. She's gone on my way. Shout. I'm not really a fan of this song. People keep asking me to sing it though, and it compel as a kamikaze. Swinging a Star! That's the song! Strudel, you're so good with these songs. I'm gonna award you winning the day when I get back to the chat room. Ben Folds. Hudson Hawk is one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies. No one else seems to like it. Adele. I wish I knew more Adele songs. People seem to really like her. James Taylor. Somewhere Only. I don't know any of these. Son of a Preacher Man. I should look up some of these things. Sowing the Seeds of Love. Stand By Me. I haven't heard anyone sing this. There's that Stay song that I was trying to remember before that. Strudel remembered. I don't know that song. Sheryl Crow, Lovin' Spoonful? These are all mysterious songs. Sweet Love, Sweet Surrender, Super Tramp. Take the Long Way Home. Oh, okay. Tears in Heaven. Squeeze. This song I would like to, I didn't realize what this song was about, but I like the way that it sounds progression wise. I remember trying to sing it once when I first went to the piano karaoke thing, and that's when I discovered that's when I discovered that like I didn't know how to sing songs. Strudel says, I really shouldn't be watching because I'm humming along as you go through the document. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad that someone knows what these songs are. Amy Grant, That's What Love Is For. I don't remember the song. I thought I did. There's a Descent of Stan. The Boxer. Boys of Summer. Oh, there's that Don Henley song that was the end of Innocence. Oh, Bruce Horn. There's two of them. Bruce Hornsby and Don Henley aren't the same person. Are they? There's a difference. I'm trying to imagine which how to look into this. Don Henley. Is there a difference between the versions? Bruce Hornsby, he's the one who's all piano-y, right? The end of the... Oh, there's a the end of the Innocence? I'm not listening to words at all when I'm thinking of these songs. I just remember the way they sound. Cheap Trick. George Benson. The Heart of the House, Ray Frank Sinatra. The Last Song. The Last Worth Leaving. Long and Winding Road. The Man I Loved. Oh, any of these things. The Rose. Coldplay. Why do people make fun of Coldplay? Or am I thinking of Nickelback? I really don't know the difference. I know more about the more exposure to Nickelback. The exposure I had to Nickelback is only hearing people joke about it on TV. Are they really that terrible? I'll have to look that up later. Let me ask a question. My name is spelled Innocence. Question. Is Nickelback / Coldplay really awful? Listen to some songs. 10cc. There's a double. Maroon 5. What's This Love? Oh, this one. Da, 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 da. Is that the song? I don't know. Da, 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 da. Cyndi Lauper, I've been kamikaze that. That's one of those slower songs that are hard to do, especially if you don't have a high Cyndi Lauper voice. But, you know, that's something that'd be fun to challenge, to figure out how to transpose it into my range. Are we almost done with this? We're almost done with this. Don't know that, don't know that. True. And now I remember it. I just remember one guy going, true! Or something like that, and it would seem very, very dramatic. Da, 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 da. Do 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 na 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 na. There's no Jason Mraz songs in here. It's difficult to sing. Toad the Wet Sprocket. What's up with Toad the Wet Sprocket? My friend Sid's a huge fan. He actually went and I think he set up a photo shoot with them to take their pictures. Somewhere in New England. Bus Gags. Pete Seeger. Carpenters. Fifth Dimension. What about love? What is love? Alright, I should know that Howard Jones song. But I don't. Sting, Beatles, Steve Winwood. Why? How does this song go? Any less? I don't remember. Liz Phair. The Cheetah Lineman? What kind of song is that? Wild World, Wind Beneath My Wings. Tears from a Woman in Chains, Eric Clapton, Bee Gees, Police. Year of the Cat? I'm curious, just because I like cats. You Are So Beautiful. Boss, Gags, Standard. Oh, we're at the end of the list. It looks like we're at the end of the list. Garbage. You Look So Fine. Maybe I would never be able to pull it off. I just like the lush arrangement. You just want to look up the words. People seem to like Josh Groban, but I don't know anything about him. I just see him on YouTube every once in a while. He pops up on some recommendation thing. Well, I guess that's all the songs that's on this list. How many do we have? I guess that's enough to start with. Alright. So, one more thing checked off the list. So maybe tomorrow I'll look at one of these and then try to figure out. I guess I should sort these. Just like I guess I don't need to sort them. They are in alphabetical order right now. Oh, where's my? So all the way up here. All right, that's it for today. Went over Project Manager, went through the song list. I guess I am ready to, it's 8:30, I'm gonna go try to clean off the car of snow and head off to the supermarket. Grab some more paper towels and whatever else needs getting. So have a good one. Hope it's not cold where you are. You got snowed in. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.